Imagine getting hit with an earthquake every month. This is life for some people. Now imagine being able to do something about it. This is also life for some people. I'm crowdfunding to volunteer in Indonesia for the Humanitarian Bamboo project, a project aimed at drawing together knowledge from bamboo experts and humanitarian specialists. I was given this amazing opportunity to not only build my growing skills, knowledge, and passion about bamboo and disasters, but also to really expand and enhance the Humanitarian Bamboo project. The fact is, the frequency and impact of disasters is only rising, and it's occurring in countries with bamboo. Now's my chance to continue building skills to have a bigger future impact, while helping a project have an immediate impact. First, I have to give some background about how I got to this opportunity. It all started the summer of 2016, when I had to decide the topic of my architectural thesis. It was on a walk with my colleague during our lunch break when we concluded that this year-long project would be the bridge between college and the start of our careers. So, I asked myself a tough question. What is the biggest issue this world truly faces? The answer felt obvious: climate change. Then I asked myself, who is immediately affected? The answer? Displaced families from natural disasters. So, I decided that day to do my final architectural thesis debating that bamboo homes were a sustainable, eco-friendly, and cost-efficient solution for disaster response. The more I learned, the more I realized how much I don't know. With this in mind, I fundraised after graduation to continue my education from bamboo experts in Bali. It was here I was introduced to Dave Hodgkin with the Humanitarian Bamboo project and given an amazing opportunity to volunteer on the team for a year. This is my chance to learn how to use bamboo effectively in post-disaster response, and to strengthen a project that can help save lives and have an immediate impact. But wait, let me introduce myself. My name is Mathew Watson, and I'm dedicating my life to becoming a humanitarian architect. More specifically, the shelter sector of disaster relief. Humanitarian architecture is not easy to break into, but I have an opportunity to take the next step on my lifelong journey. And it all started in Bali. Bali is an island of Indonesia with a culture as beautiful as its land. It is also home to the Hardy family. Orrin Hardy runs the Cool Farm, a permaculture farm that hosts bamboo workshops. Laura Hardy runs Ibuku, a bamboo-specific architecture firm. And John Hardy runs The Green School, a K-12 school of sustainability. Altogether, it's a family focused on creating a more sustainable world. This past June, I was blessed enough to learn under their guidance for 2 short weeks during the Bamboo University Build and Design course. The course was made up of 35 participants from all across the world. And the most rewarding aspect of this was being around like-minded people who you can collaborate and connect with. All participants were focused on their own long-term sustainable goals, but we were all tied together by the spirit of bamboo. All the lecturers were leaders in sustainable design, and one morning, we were lectured by an environmental leader named Arif Rabik, son of the well-known environmentalist Linda Garland. Arif is a bamboo chemist and was lecturing us on propagation, mounding, and treatment techniques. But midway through his lecture, I realized the presentation looked awfully familiar. Then it clicked. I used the facts from his presentation to make graphics a few months prior. It just so happens that I turned his information into infographics, where I visually communicated bamboo customs and traditional knowledge. So, naturally, after his lecture, I went up to him and showed him it all. During my final year of architecture school, I presented a thesis project to capstone my college education. This is when I made the infographics. So, I approached Arif and showed him the graphics. Then he asked me, "What was your thesis project on?" So I told him. Dr. Bamboo Homes stands for Disaster Relief Bamboo Homes and was a project to combat climate change through disaster relief housing made with bamboo. I explained how it was the first time my career in architecture and my passion for people aligned. I finished by saying, Dr. Bamboo Homes has evolved into a record, in essence, of my life's journey to becoming a humanitarian architect. He paused. I'll never forget this. After showing him my infographics and telling him all about my thesis, Arif stopped, smirked, and said, "You need to meet Dave Hodgkin." Fast forward a week, there I am having dinner with Dave Hodgkin, a man who has spent decades navigating the humanitarian world, who specializes in post-disaster shelter coordination, and who initiated the Humanitarian Bamboo project. an open source project that aims to improve the way bamboo is used in disasters. He told me endless stories on the role of bamboo in disasters, how it's been used and abused, how it grows, its role in disaster relief, and some of the common misunderstandings. He explained how the real issue wasn't one of design, but more of listening, learning language and culture, and recognizing the incredible knowledge and skills that most of affected communities already have about things like bamboo, and working out how to empower them to overcome whatever barriers stand in the way of them building back safer and stronger themselves. But regardless of any strategy, chatting with Dave made it clear that this sector is simply not easy to break into, and that my ambition to be a humanitarian architect focusing on bamboo was simply not as straightforward as I first thought. There are geopolitical, sociological, and anthropological complexities that are far beyond my current education, which are essential for any budding humanitarian architect to understand before they can actually make a real difference in the field. This makes gaining experience difficult because disaster response needs experts, not beginners, making it hard to get into and making mentorships imperative. Dave explained how most commonly there are two ways into the sector. The first is to simply be in the wrong place at the right time, aka show up to a disaster, happen to survive, and prove yourself to be super useful, like what happened to Dave when his own house was destroyed in the Yogyakarta earthquake of 2006. The other way is a 12-year-long path. To start, you get some sort of relevant bachelor's degree like I have, then gain a bit of work experience doing something in some way related for a year or two, before getting a master's in something like international studies or humanitarian aid, usually followed by volunteering for a year or two to prove you can handle working cross-culturally overseas, followed by a few more years working in a low-paid position with a local organization or on short-term contracts in uncomfortable conditions to again prove yourself, before finally landing a job with a decent organization where you are actually doing things you initially envisioned. And all of this so that you can then get generally underpaid, be far from family and friends, working in remote and difficult places that have just been destroyed. A process I was naive to before sitting down at that dinner table. The room felt as if it was getting darker and darker as my perspective grew broader and broader. These realities were coming from someone with decades of experience, and this was something I had to face. As I began to respond, I felt my resolve deepen, and with every word of commitment, things became clear. My intuition told me Dave wasn't trying to discourage me, but made me realize the issues weren't quite what I had imagined. So, it became obvious. What I needed was mentorship. The Humanitarian Bamboo project will do just that. It will provide me with guidance through this challenging sector, but above all else, I'll be able to help a team that is making an immediate impact. What is the Humanitarian Bamboo project? The Humanitarian Bamboo project evolved out of an evaluation of the Yogyakarta earthquake, where local NGO workers felt that the international experts coming to assist knew next to nothing about bamboo. And while locals knew how to use bamboo, they didn't know much about many of the broader global issues, like sustainability, humanitarian standards, and best practice in disaster response. In reaction to this, the Humanitarian Bamboo project was set up to bridge the gap between humanitarian experts and bamboo experts. This open source project aimed to bridge the gap first with international dialogue. It began by conducting humanitarian bamboo forums in India, Thailand, and Indonesia, calling together experts to sit together and discuss what they both agree was best practice on the use of bamboo in every stage of humanitarian response. From this, the team developed a set of guidelines that explained bamboo from how to grow, harvest, transport, store, treat, design, build, and maintain structures using bamboo, which is constantly being improved upon. The manual is on draft 3. From that point forward, from places like Haiti, the Philippines, and most recently in Bangladesh, the team has been receiving calls almost weekly from humanitarian shelter professionals for small but important bits of technical advice, like on treatment methodology, foundation types, or jointing styles for particular projects. Then, Humanitarian Bamboo went on to run in-depth evaluations for the use of bamboo in the Thai-Burmese border camps, and more recently in Nepal after the 2016 earthquake. The team does evaluations as well as runs trainings where they provide advice on all aspects of the use of bamboo in disaster response. What now? Well, both the Humanitarian Bamboo website and the manual are now being completely overhauled and updated based on the last 10 years of experience. And the team is continuing to provide advice, run trainings, and give guidance on bamboo in the humanitarian context. So, what's next? Funding. The team hopes to look into more innovative ways to fundraise to expand their reach and work.
Currently, crowdfunding is more heavily used in development projects rather than for humanitarian assistant volunteers. Communication. The team is always looking for more innovative ways to communicate best practice to practitioners in the field. So, further development of the manual, website, and improved training courses. Experimenting. The team seeks to continue exploring new systems for bamboo treatment, bamboo shelter designs, and to overall improve systems that affect humanitarian response.
This is when I saw how I fit into all this, how I'm a part of their puzzle, but their puzzle is a piece of something much bigger than all of us, the world climate change issue. I don't have the answers to the world's biggest problems, but I know there's a network of people out there figuring it out and making change happen, and that's where I need to be. I was told if I'm able to crowdfund my way to Indonesia, I have a spot on the team as a volunteer. This would mark the midway point of the 12-year process to become a humanitarian architect.
So, I need your help. Support and donate if you can. If not, that's all right. Share this link to help me spread the word. Something I always remember: change happens funeral by funeral. This is my lifelong journey to make change happen. Thank you.